Hello everyone and welcome back to Addo's Playtime. Today we're going to be jumping back into Oxygen Not Included, where today we will be starting our work on our industrial brick. Now, I've never officially ever made one of these, but I unofficially made one before I even knew what they were. Just kind of making an area to refine a bunch of metals and things of that nature. So we will be making this today, and my plan has always been to do it right here. That way it is close enough to the duplicants that they don't have to go too far. Now we will be making it an open air one at the beginning, and then probably maybe converting it over to an industrial sauna in the future. So I don't really know what exactly this will entail and what we will be doing. But my plan is to move some items around here, get this liquid pipe out of the way, maybe even readjust this heavy watt wire to kind of run up the spine and up into this area, and then have the same thing kind of coming out to come down across. So I don't know exactly how it'll look when it's all done, but industrial bricks all kind of look the same. So and it is what it is. In the meantime, we are finished with our giant water tank over here, and I plan on starting to pour some liquids into there. Our pumps have been working like mad trying to get all this stuff out of here. We're down to, 80 to whatever grams now. They're just pulling out as much as they can. Again, I am getting the stutter in frames from time to time, and I can only imagine it's these gases just mixing with each other and just causing the frames to not have any idea what to do with themselves. Eventually, we're going to open up the whole top of the map, and it'll just expel itself to the vacuum of space. But to do that, we're going to need quite a bit of steel. The steel that we have is only 18 tons, and yes, it seems like a lot, but it's only 18 tons. Our fossil is way back where it should be. So we'll be getting our lime going to get that steel, bolstered up. The reason we need all the steel is because I would like to do as I normally do, which is put bunker tiles all the way across the top of the map here, as close to space as we can get, sealing them in with bunker doors as well, so that when we start getting into rocketry and things of that nature, we always have our stuff here to do it. Plus, we'll have to explore space, and it's a whole song and dance that we won't get into just yet, because we're going to try, as I always say, to focus in on one project at a time, and that is going to be this industrial brick. So what do we need? Well, we're going to need quite a few steam turbines. We're also going to need a thermal aqua tuner, and we're going to have to do a cooling loop here, and all that sort of thing. I plan on bringing the petroleum up so that we could do petroleum, and then we will probably pool that into an area, maybe over here, so that we can use that polluted water to feed our thimble reeds like we are currently doing. We had to make that emergency supply of polluted water to the thimble reeds because this was just not, it just wasn't giving us enough polluted water just through our dupes. And I'm not about to put showers in and all that kind of stuff. Another thing that I don't remember if I have mentioned in the last episode, I actually started pumping a lot of this water out into here. I want to get this mass down because it has been 100 or plus cycles, and this water is only at 22. I'd like it to be a little cooler. The Pacu will probably suffer because of the fact that we will overcrowd this, but my desire is to get the base just cooled down a little bit more. There are some places that are, kind of warm, and some places that could be stifled. And if we're bringing in some polluted water that's going to be used from our gas generation or petroleum generators for power, that stuff's going to be a little bit warm. And I don't want to pre-cool it. I just want it to be cooled here so that it won't stifle the plants. That's kind of the plan. So anyways, okay. It looks like our geothermal is doing good. We've got plenty of heat there. This is off currently because it's full and I don't want to overfill it. We're still producing all of our steel. We're still producing all of that kind of stuff. I'm actually going to tell this to make about 30 more units of steel in this one. The reason I want to move this so badly is because we are starting to really heat up this oil, and it is making me just a little bit nervous that we could get some potentially hazardous issues in our petroleum boiler when we turn that sucker back on, as this is so hot that it may flash to petroleum in these pipes before it gets up here. And I do not want to break back into this, and I do not want to do anything as we finally have gotten this kind of worked out. But yeah, so that is the plan for the day. We are going to be getting this all ready. We'll probably strap the steam turbines up across here. How wide do we want to go? That is an excellent question that I truly don't have a good answer for. But I'm kind of thinking from ladder to where this storage is, maybe come down to this level here and just kind of use this whole square as what we need to do plastic and and everything else. So I am going to try to get this kind of planned out, and I will be back in a minute with some adjustments, and I will let you know how we are doing. So this is going to be our basic setup. We're going to have our aqua tuner here in place like normal with its bypass and everything of that nature. We're going to have a couple of steam generators to start everything off. I'll probably actually put more steam turbines in here as we need to across this way. I've moved quite a bit. There was a water line that's coming from the geyser that's over here, and I don't actually use that water anymore, as we're using the salt water and we're using this water to power this thing. So that's all something that's not relevant anymore. So I kind of deleted it back, and it's probably going to get diverted over to our tank over here in the very near future. I put in these kind of liquid locks for future proofing in case we do want to make this an industrial sauna. And then I reran the electrical across here. We'll probably insulate across that. So that's why it's got the heavy joint plates here, because we'll still need power inside this to run the majority of the machines that are going to be in here. We'll just run heavy wire to all of them. That way there's really no need for a transformer. The only transformer that I'm putting in currently is going to be this one right here. And its sole purpose is to feed the aqua tuner. So it'll have plenty of power to get to there. Now it's all in steel or gold amalgam. Everything here is made of pretty heavy duty stuff. We have this ceramic metal refinery. We have gold for the radiant pipes. I didn't want to use steel just because our steel is still producing and we're not 100% on that. This is our liquid cooling, which is going to come over here. I realized that I was running out of space in this area. I didn't want to move the steam turbines over. I didn't want to move anything over. I want to have at least this much space. I don't actually know how many of these we could actually put across here. Well, there's a ladder there. So there's one there, and that would, oof. I don't know if we would put one there, but we could if we needed to. So we could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 steam turbines in here if we really wanted to. I will set those up for future proofing and all that stuff, but I don't think we will have 7 refineries across the top here. 5 was probably what I was thinking. 5 would be enough, I believe, to get basically everything that we would need done in a hurry. The other thing is I want to be able to have space here to put storages for iron and lime so that I can auto sweep it in there. And then or just have this one do iron. It falls out, auto sweeper, couple containers, steel, and then it falls out, so on, so forth, and all that stuff. I just want to try to make it as efficient as I possibly can, but nothing so far has been efficient in our playthrough. So why start now? I mean, that doesn't make sense. When you're trying to reinvent the wheel and the wheel is perfect the way it is, what's the point, right? Right? So anyways, that's what they're going to get on doing now. So I think we just kind of let them build this out. I get some storage going on. We need to get some petroleum up here to put in to the pipe here so that we can start refining our metals through that. We need to get some polluted water into this tank so we can get that going, and we could probably shunt off a little bit and just pop it directly in there. But I'm going to let the dupes just kind of go at this and get this going. I do need to make sure that we get these pipes in before anything else. So I'm going to change the put the priority at 1 because I had some other things going on that I wanted done first. So I'm going to take the priority of construction. I'm going to put this at a 9 just to make sure that we get all of that done first. I want these pipes laid in first, and then they can seal this in, and I don't really care so much about it. And then the next thing we'll probably have to do is try to figure out a way of how we're going to pump this out of oxygen, because we're going to need to put a whole lot of steam in here, and that's going to be a lot of water, and I don't want any oxygen in it. So that's going to be a thing. We may have to make a temporary liquid lock on this side like we've done in the past, and yeah, it could be a thing. So I don't know. I'll figure that out. That's a future Addo problem. So the other thing I did in the background just to kind of get things prepared is I made these pipes, and I've got the anti-entropy thermo nullifier. Nailed it. Hooked up with some hydrogen so that we can start powering it, because I need to cool. Instead of trying to, take out all that water and cool it down, I thought maybe I'll just start cooling the oxygen as it's coming in. So I've got my pipes up to here, and I'm just going to hook those up and get that thing running so we can cool down our oxygen. I think this should be enough. If not, I can do some fancy weavy wobbly whateverness going on here and then still get it back in. But yeah, they got all that done kind of in the background as I was planning this out, building all these floors and that kind of thing. So if that's the case, then what that means is we can maybe even take this space back and have a nice path through here. I don't think I'll move everything up, because once I get this thing rolling, the plan would be is once we get to the industrial sauna side of things, I can start just chucking away at this and eating away at the heat that's in here, helping us generate more steam power and so on and so forth, because we're going to have to get away from this being utilized so much in the very distant future. I believe we have at least a couple hundred cycles before that, and we'll probably have some other ideas on how to generate some power from there. So I will let them go ahead and get at this, and I will pop back in if anything interesting happens. All right, so we've got our first bit of petroleum coming up here, filling up this loop here. We have our steam room getting vacuumed out. Really, the last thing that we need to hook up is going to be this pipe right across here to get some of this polluted water in here. Now, we have 32 units of reed fiber, so we can actually go ahead and hook this up so that we can fill this line temporarily. Of course, I want to make sure that we don't do it permanently because we definitely need that reed fiber going. This will start our cooling loop across here. We'll get this thing turned down to, I don't know, we'll say above 5. No, because we got to account for the variant. Let's say 15. So if the temperature is not above 15, then that thing should kick on. I am going to wait and hook this up as soon as we get about, I don't know, 2,000 kg in this, just to make sure that we have plenty of liquids coming in here. And I want to keep an eye on it because I do know that we are pulling from a pool of water that has a mixture of a lot of different things. I just want to make sure that this is 100% polluted water before we get going on it. In the meantime, I have gone ahead and hooked up a lot of the things here that we're going to be needing. So we have tons of lime being put here. And what I might actually do, because I need more spacing in between these guys to get this to work and for an auto sweeper. So what I'm not I'm trying to decide whether or not I want to put something here for it to load it into a conveyor loader, drop it off, or if I want to move this one over. I can move it over one tile to the right, and then I should be able to put an auto sweeper right here, because according to the way it measures, I should be able to put it right next to this one. I just need that third tile. So I may shift this over one to the right, and then this one can have an auto sweeper here. This can be the iron ore, can go into here, and then it'll drop out. It'll pick up the iron ore, the lime, and the refined carbon, put it here. And then I can have a conveyor chute, just dropping the materials here to here, and let that conveyor loader just back and forth do its thing. So that's probably the play here. I'm going to probably go ahead and do that, because on the other side of this, we'll probably just have one set for gold, one set, or maybe another one set for steel. I don't know, maybe two for steel, but then I would have to do some conveyor shenanigans, and I'm not really sure. Maybe this one should be iron and this one should be steel, and then I put another steel on the other side of it, and then a fourth one over here if I really need it. But honestly, we could probably get away with just 3. I'm just making sure we have plenty of space, and since our petroleum is up here, we can actually set up a place to put our plastic production probably right here. I'm thinking right on top of where the pipe goes through here. I may have to do some bridging and some things of that nature. I'm not really 100% sure yet. I should probably put one down and find that out, but it looks like our vacuum is about to be a vacuum, so that's good. It's just got a little bit left over here in this corner, and it'll just take it a while to get over here, but it shouldn't be too long. How much water we got? Oh, we are almost set. So I want to make sure I try to cut that off right about 2,000. So we're almost there, and boom. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to switch to our pipe overlay, and I'm going to cut this, and that should be right about what I want it to be. 2010, perfect. So now we'll just hook this pipe back up before we forget, because we will. And then that is our cooling loop. So now I'm going to not quite hook that up until I get some water on here. So the next thing would be is to get some water. Now we are pumping the water out of here, and I'm happy about that. We may just go ahead and try to pump that water out and into here. Wrong overlay. Pipe, boom. So we may just pump this down and into one of these, and that way it just starts pumping water into here, because I want to make sure that this gets pumped, gets lots of water on top of it. And then we'll try to shoot for quite a bit of water. And I know we've got a liquid lock made of water here, but we'll fix that here in a second. I'll actually fix that right now, again, before I forget. We can dump that water down here and it can go away. And then we may replace this with some oil. And the reason is I just can't break an old habit of having access to everything. I just really like having access to things when I make them, just because of the sheer fact that, again, not a professional at this game, not 100% on it. So yeah, we'll deconstruct this, let that fall, fill this back in with some oil, and then go from there. I think we still have a pitcher pump down there. I don't think I did not do that. Now, once this is up and running and we've got it rolling the way we want, I will go down and destroy the old so that they focus on this one, change the priorities a little bit and all that kind of thing. So yeah. Okay. So the first one is definitely filled up. Let me get a few things tidied up, and I will be right back in if something interesting happens. So as I said before, I love having access to these things because, yes, I set up the aqua tuner wrong again. So we busted ourselves back in here. We went ahead and put in our wonderful little lock here for our liquid lock. We'll have to double this up and vacuum out the center and all that stuff. It's a whole thing that I absolutely love doing. We also are going to take the time to come in here and deconstruct all of these things and sweep it up while we have access to it. And probably deconstruct these ladder segments as well. There's a piece of pipe back here. I'll deconstruct that, and then we'll sweep it all up, and then, oh, selected the dupe instead. We got the ladder, right? Okay. Sweep all this up and get it out of here. And then we should probably finally have this thing where we want it. Let's cancel out any overlays. Oh yeah, I got to cut that piece of pipe. Don't forget that. Oh yeah, forgot that part too. Oh my goodness, it's a real disaster here. There we go. Now we got it. Now we're cooking with gas. That's how you do an aqua tuner. I explained it in that one episode, and ever since then, I swear to you, every single time I go to do this, it's not right. And oh gosh, I love this game. I love it so much. Let's let that get out of there just in case it decides to insulate it. Yeah, so we'll priority that sucker up to get that done. And then it's time to sweep this mess up. Priority 9. Great. Is there anything over there? Yes. Let's just get all that picked up, guys. Yep, you're putting your igneous rock. All right. So now we'll come back down. We'll go back to the pipe overlay. Select U, B, and Sheboygan. So now if we say above 15. Oh, there's a... It works. It works. Oh, first try. So that means that this thing will start heating up this water. It'll start making that steam, and we will be in the good spot. So what we'll do here is we will set this to do, I don't know, let's say 99. All right. 99 iron. We forgot to put our stuff in here. So I will set these guys up, decide what I'm going to do here. There's a good chance we're really pulling that chlorine up because we are really starting to get some good work done up here. As you can see, this used to be all polluted oxygen up here. And so now we actually have a lot of oxygen being pulled up through here. Now, it's not oxygen that we need. It's just oxygen that's outside of the base. But things I actually, what I did here is I opened this up to B3 tiles to pull more stuff. But that does mean now that our chlorine is starting to rise, I believe when we started, the chlorine might have been to this level, but we've pulled it up quite a bit and thinned it out. But that might be something that we go ahead and fill in our liquid locks, get this place pumped up with some oxygen, and then that way it's sealed up and nice and tight. I think that would be a really good idea to go ahead and insulate and put in our liquid locks here. So that is something I think we'll do actually right now. I'll put the pipes in, get that sealed up, pump out that ugly chlorine gas, and then pump in some oxygen, or just let oxygen come in on its own, whatever it might do. Maybe even change these to mesh tiles because that seems like the better thing to do. Insulate this guy to here and call it good. And that will be that. So, all right, I'll set these things up, get this going, get the liquid locks installed, and we will go from there. I will pop back in, and if anything catastrophic happens. So you know when I said I'd pop back in if something catastrophic happened? My thermo aqua tuner melted. It melted. And it melted my gold. It melted my steel wires. It melted the steel. How did it get so hot so fast? It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm completely baffled right now. I just don't know what to think. I'm gonna have to. Luckily, we just had an autosave, so maybe I can go back a cycle and figure out what happened. Maybe I should kick these off first and let the steam get in the room so that that thing doesn't overheat. I don't even know right now. I am very, very confused. And it turned something into sour gas. So it must have, oh, the petroleum came out and turned into sour gas. I am just completely confused. I have never seen that happen before. But I'm going to pop back a couple cycles and figure out what it was that happened. Okay, so it took a few cycles, but I think I have it. So I did notice that I did have some issues with my piping here as far as like loading these guys up. I had loaded them to the wrong side, filled up these complete pipes. It was a whole mess and I just dealt with it. But we are churning out some steel from here and we are churning out some iron on the other one. So I'm just kind of doing 3 and 4 at a time, trying to get this liquid to heat up a little bit so that we can get that heat from here into there, cause some steam, and then we will kick on the aqua tuner. So I'm hoping that everything goes according to plan, but you know, it wouldn't be that bad for this channel to completely mess something up. You know, that's my normal thing. I like it. It's fun. Keeps things interesting. Content. So we did install these conveyor loaders here to go ahead and get some of the lime and the refined carbon up here so that this auto sweeper can use it. There is a storage for it if it really wanted to put it in there. Great. If it doesn't, all right. We'll actually put these at a little bit lower priority now. And that way the dupes tend to not do it. And the auto sweepers can do their thing. I just wanted to load it up to begin with. Just get it kind of pre-gamed it. But it does seem like my output here, I could have swore I dumped all of that out of there. All right, so let's do that again. There, much more normal. So we are heating the water up ever so little bit, but this steel should be getting it going a lot faster. So my hope is that the steel will, we could actually temporarily use this to do 5 steel as well. And we'll just keep cranking the steel through and wait for a steam to happen. Now I could put some temperature shift plates in here, and that might not be a bad idea. So we could make those suckers at a diamond. Maybe put one about here, here, there, and there. Actually, we will move this one over one to there. And that'll help transfer that heat down into this water. See, look, it's already happening. Didn't even really need it, but we want to make sure that we get a good amount of steam pressure in here and that the temperature is good before we turn this aqua tuner on again. And we'll do something that we typically don't do on this channel. Save the game. What? It's ridiculous. Who saves their game before they do stuff? That's not a normal person thing, is it? So we are doing a good job here. Oh wow, we got diamond in there. Can we get that out of there before it gets too hot? All right, so our steam powered generators are starting, or steam turbines, sorry, are starting to kick on. That's good. We're getting some good steam. What are you looking like? Properties. Your temperature is okay now. All right, so let us plug you in. Tell you to turn on if you're above, what did we decide on? 10? I don't think I reset that. And let's let this guy rip. Oh, we don't have power hooked up to you. No problem. Get that done. And I think that should be it. I will let this run a few cycles, make sure everything looks good, and then I will pop back in once everything seems to be cranking like it's supposed to. All right, so this has been running for quite a few cycles. I would say 10 cycles plus, and it does seem to be working just fine. And I added up, or put up all the rest of the steam turbines up here just because it seemed like these were all maxing out, and now it doesn't seem so bad. These two are just kind of doing okay. This guy is maxing out a little bit from time to time, but for the most part, they're doing just fine. This guy's not even close. He's good. So the only thing that I see that could be concerning that I'm not really sure about just yet is this kind of fluctuates between about 57.5 to 58. It gets close to 59 sometimes. So I don't know if I'm going to need a second aqua tuner here to definitely chill that water down. Have one running all the time and then have another one that is running only when it's necessary. It could be something where I hook them both up to automation and things of that nature and say, hey, there's two different temperatures. If you're recognizing this temperature, then you need to kick on. If you're not, blah, 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 blah. But that's another thing for another day. But at the same time, we have just been nonstop cranking out the steel. I had it on forever for a while, but it was getting over 200 degrees in here. And yeah, I'm just afraid this guy melting into oblivion again. Good Lord. But the water over here has turned into steam. It's not pooling up over on this crude oil, which is always a good sign. And then we have finished off our liquid locks here. So we're probably going to pump this out pretty soon and let things go. Put some oxygen back in here and all that kind of stuff. It is a balmy 60 something degrees in here, so it's feeling pretty good, but the machines are handling it. Everything seems to be running fairly smoothly. And I don't know if you've noticed, if there's some concerns when it comes to the amount of calories that we have. I did up the amount in this to 10 kg to be stored in here, but we do have plenty of barbecue, plenty of rations and all kinds of other stuff in here. So I'm not too worried about that just yet. We still have a bajillion eggs being put in here. If we go over to the rooms overlay, we have 117 eggs that are waiting to hatch. But we were going to probably turn this into a new hatchery or expand the base up and get some more hatches going. I just really, really want to see that calorie count go through the roof. So this is basically because of the way we've done our kitchen, this is the only calories that they're allowed to get to. So that is pretty much what that means. It doesn't, I was worried about it, but I'm not so worried about it now. It seems to be doing just fine. But yeah, so anywho, this is where we're at. And I think that this went pretty well, in my opinion. I don't know for sure because, again, I think it's one of the first times I've ever done an industrial brick. Like I said, seen it done 100 times, but never done it myself. So I will probably let this run in the background quite a bit just because we want to stockpile that steam or that steel. Just because, as you can see, I also touched space. Yes, we're there. I sent a ladder all the way up, so we are ready to just probably top off the very edge of the map here. I think it's safe to always go down one in case you want to do some regolith stuff and get some shovel farming going on. And it's always good to have a bit of regolith that you can play with. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I think it was a successful day today. So anyways, if you are enjoying the series, please do not forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell so you can be alerted of any time that any oxygen not included or any other content that you're enjoying on the page gets uploaded. This is Addo from Addo's Playtime. Please don't forget to keep gaming for the love of games. Bye now.